Well, here we are. You've made it to the fourth video. Make training a want to, not a have to. The focus here is going to be on negotiations from the stage, or the stage area, or the platform, or the seat that you're in during a roundtable conversation. Almost everything that we do is a negotiation. So where do we take it from here? Why is this even relevant to what we're doing now? How can we use negotiation as a part of communication and facilitating and making training a want to, not a have to? Well, let's be honest, I'm negotiating with you right now, aren't I? I just asked you a question to get you to give me an affirmative yes, aren't I? Right? That's a negotiation right there, nice and simple. Now in business and in life, you don't get what you deserve, you get what you negotiate, right? That came from Chester Carras. So think about this, in business, in life, in relationships, when you're with your kids are a great example, right? But you don't get what you ask for, you don't get what you deserve, you get what you negotiate. So how do we negotiate? Easiest way to figure that out, really just look. Kids are the best negotiators in the world. Now, the ultimate reason for a negotiation is to find an agreement between parties. And isn't that what kids are constantly doing? They're trying to get you to agree to something that you don't want to do, right? I want to eat snacks for breakfast. I want to eat junk food for breakfast. That's what kids do. I've got 2 kids. If you've got kids, if you've ever met kids, if you even know who kids are, you can understand. Maybe you've been a kid before, I'm not sure. Or maybe you're just a big kid now. But we're constantly negotiating. So let's look at how do kids do this. Take a look. How do kids negotiate? How do they win people over? How do they win you over? How did you do it when you, or maybe if you're still a big kid, how do you win people over with your kind of negotiation strategy? Number 1, they don't give up. Right? So when you're on stage, when you're your metaphorical stage, when you're in your presentation mode, and if you're facilitating or training, don't give up. You can reach people. You can make this happen, but you have to give it everything that you've got. I tell people in all of the sessions that I do, I'm going to give you all of my energy, because if I didn't, how would you feel about me? The answer is not so good. I usually get some kind of sound effect. I go, boo, right? Now at the same time, this is a relationship. If you don't give me all of your energy, how am I going to feel about you? And the response is reciprocated. It's the same thing, and I'll give the sound effect, or they will. It's boo. It's not a good relationship, right? And so right there, we're negotiating. How are we going to treat each other? What are the expectations going to be, right? So how do kids do it? Is they don't give up. So do not give up. You can make a difference, but you've got to be willing to give it a shot, and you've got to give everything that you got. Relationships are not 50-50. They're 100-100. So you give everything, and if you don't, you can't expect to give it in return. So first, you've got to negotiate with yourself. You can't negotiate with others until you first negotiate with who? Yourself, right? So how do kids do it? How did you do it? Throw out a couple examples in your head, in your mind right now, whether it's, getting a snack after eating a certain amount of food, or the kids get to drag you to the pool when you didn't want to do it, or they get you to go outside, or they convince you to give you something, to give them something even when they got a B- on it and you were expecting a B on that final grade. I mean, they do it in so many different ways, but number 1, they don't give up. Right, so let's look at kind of some of the strategies. You can digest how kids do it. I want to dive a little deeper, right? We've been negotiating since we started. How so? I've been smiling with you, and if you smiled back, that was part of the negotiation, part of the relationship building. I've been asking you questions, and as long as you answered them, we've been negotiating back and forth. Every time you give me an affirmative, that is moving towards an agreement, right? Right? Yeah, did it again, didn't I? Almost everything can be negotiated. The value of a negotiation is to help others win. Now, isn't that your job? Isn't that our jobs as trainers, as facilitators, as presenters, to help others win, to help them get their way? Their goals are our goals. Our job, I like to say this a lot, so you steal this, but my job is to make you look like a hero at the end of the day. Right? As a trainer, my job is to make you, as another trainer, look like a hero at the end of the day. Your job is to make your participants look like heroes at the end of their days, at the end of their work, at the end of their experience, at the end of their lives. Our job is to help others win, right? So how do we do that? Create value first. Simplest way is to create value first. You put it out there. Again, give 100% with the expectation that that's the only way you're going to get it back. That's how the negotiation works, is you got to put it out there. You got to put yourself out there, right? Think about it. How can you put yourself out there to negotiate the possibility that they will then reciprocate in return the energy, the interaction, the participation, the engagement, the fun, the laughter, the experience that you are working to create? I'm not going to say trying to create, because we all know what try means. It means nothing. We don't try to do stuff. We've got to do it. So think about this. Get them to say yes so loudly that they don't have a reason to say no. Let that sink in. How can you, during this kind of negotiation from the stage to the participant, how can you get them to say yes so loudly that they don't have a reason to say no? You've been in my workshop, you've kind of experienced this. Maybe you've had conversations with me on the phone too, or on the sideline, or at a table, or during a lunch break. How do you get people to say yes? Smile. A smile is a yes, it's an affirmative. A nod is a yes. When you say, hi, my name is, and they say their name is, that's a yes. You're building that relationship. The longer you talk, the more yeses you can get. Now, the goal isn't to find people who are the same as you. The goal is to find people who are similar values. That's how we create the yes. And if you can get people saying yes, yes, oh yeah, yeah, sure. They're more likely, because we are creatures of habit, to say yes when you ask them to do the hard stuff. So in my sessions, when I ask people to stand up, it's not the first thing that I do. I build rapport, I build a relationship, I get people to laugh, I ask, what do you hate about stuff like this? And then ultimately I say, I'm going to give you all of my energy if you give me all of yours. Is this going to be a good day? We'll have fun, we'll learn stuff, we'll feel empowered. Are you willing to do that? They say yes. I say, good, prove it, stand up. Now at this point they've said yes, maybe you said yes, maybe 20 or 30 times before I ever asked you to do the tough stuff. So get them to say yes so loudly that they have no reason to say no, right? Build it through a story, build it through a vision, share with them, what does this look like? Where are you going with it? The biggest insight that I want to share with you here is negotiation is about context, not content. It's about the price, not the terms. You could buy a car, well, forget the car example, let's go to, give me $50. You'd be like, no, right? But what if I said, give me $50, I'll give it right back? Okay, you might be interested. What if I said, give me $50 and I will give you $100 back immediately? Well, that's a great deal. Of course you're going to say yes. It's not the price, it's the terms. What if I said, give me $50 today and 100 years from now, I'll give you $100? That's not a good deal, right? Again, it's the price. It's not the price, it's the terms. It's the context, not the content. That brings this full circle. How do you make training a want to, not a have to? Focus on the relationship. Focus on the context. Be a context expert. Context expert, not content. You're a facilitator. How can you do that? Facilitate a relationship, facilitate a story, facilitate an experience. Thank you so much for joining me to make training a want to, not a have to. Now get out there, do some awesome work. I'll talk to you soon.